When you get married and you get your first house and you become a mother, there is no one who hands you a manual that shows you exactly how to do all of your homemaking tasks and meal planning and how to manage your home and keep things organized and tidy. It's just something that you need to figure out on your own or find someone to teach you how to do it. Even if your mom taught you some of these things, the chances are pretty good that there are still some things that you need to figure out on your own, that maybe she didn't do exactly the way it would work for you, or your personalities are different, or your unique home or your family situation is different, and you need to figure some things out on your own. So today I'm gonna let you in on my secrets, my top 5 homemaking tips so that your home can run a little bit more smoothly. Hi, I'm Jess from the blog siloandsage.com, and here we talk about cultivating your home, your homeschool, and your motherhood. Now, I have been married for almost 20 years, and I'm a mom of 5 boys. My oldest is nearly 16, my youngest is 6. And I grew up also as the oldest of 6 kids. So I learned a lot of homemaking tasks, cooking and caring for the kids and sewing. But I really didn't know how to take care of my home and how to carry all of those skills into managing my home when I got married and we got a house and I became a mom. Honestly, a lot of those things did not come very naturally to me. The organization of a home, those homekeeping tasks, keeping a home neat and tidy and organized, none of that came very naturally to me. I'm actually naturally kind of a messy person and a disorganized person. I love when things are organized, but I have a hard time getting them to that point where they are organized. So this is something that I've really had to work at over the years, because also I have this creative brain that likes to squirrel in all these different directions. So I might be in the middle of a task and decide, oh wait, I have a great system and I can organize things, but first I need to rearrange this whole room in order to make that happen. So I kind of can get all over the place because my creative brain takes me in lots of different directions. But through a lot of trial and error, probably more error than anything else, I figured out some things that have helped me and that have helped our home to run more smoothly over the years. Because let's be honest, you cannot have 7 people in a house that is always in disarray. No one is going to be happy, and you're not going to be able to get things done, to be efficient, and to make good use of your time. Honestly, I could not run a business and a household at the same time without these things happening to help me manage my home well. So I'm going to share my 5 things that I think will help you also to manage your home well, no matter what your family size is. All right, the very first thing is systems. Now, this has been so helpful for me, especially when it comes to the daily homemaking tasks and chores like laundry. Now, I have an entire video that I will link for you all about my laundry system that seriously changed my life. I know that's kind of dramatic when it comes to laundry, but it really is true. I used to be one of those people that had piles of clothes sitting on the couch or sitting on the bed, and I don't have that anymore because I follow a laundry system, and I've followed this system for 7, 8, 9 years, something like that, and it has really changed our entire household. Now we're searching through to find the right clothes. You just know where things are, and you are always on top of laundry. I am almost never behind on laundry unless somebody gets sick or you go on a vacation and you have a huge amount of laundry when you come home, or some kind of home disaster happens and your laundry room floods. That happened. But creating systems in your home just really helps you to know what to do next. So just like when you wake up in the morning, you know you're gonna brush your teeth, or you're gonna make your bed, or whatever it is that you do when you wake up, your routine, you can create systems for those things. So some of them can be as simple as, whenever you're finished eating, you put your dishes in the dishwasher. Whenever you have dirty clothes, instead of leaving them on the floor, you put them directly in the hamper. And you can teach the people in your home to do the same things as well. Now, obviously, if you have children in your house, these systems are not going to work perfectly every single time, but having the systems in place will definitely help. Now, when you do have kids in your home, one of the best things to do is to teach them and expect your kids to help and participate in caring for the home, because it is impossible for one person, unless it's someone that you pay, like if you have someone in your home, like coming into your home to help you take care of these things, you're paying someone to, take care of your laundry or take care of your dishes or help clean your house. There's no way that one person can do everything, especially when there are, when you have a larger family. So in our home, our kids are expected to participate in caring for the home. They have certain chores, they have certain jobs that they do, and they have extra jobs that they could do if they want to earn a little extra money. But in our home, we have this motto of like, everybody takes care of the home together. So everybody participates. So that means that certain kids have certain jobs that they know they're going to do every single day. And there are certain jobs that the kids will do as they come up. If we have a bunch of people coming over for a party, they know, hey, we gotta clean the bathrooms. We gotta, vacuum the living room. We have to pick up the toys. Whatever it is that needs to be done will get done. So for us, it's been really helpful to have expectations. So my kids keep the same job, the same main job for a long time. So they get really good at it and they know what to do. And then when they are learning a job, like my 6-year-old right now, he's currently learning a new job, and his older brothers are kind of like, ushering him into learning how to do this job and kind of taking him under their wing and teaching him how to do this job. So what's been helpful for us is we have a little chore chart. So I have some chore cards. I brought a few of them so you can see. I will show a picture of our chore chart so that you can see what it looks like. It's just like a pocket chart that I used when I was teaching, and so it just has little slots. You could easily do this with like a Velcro strip or, a magnet board, and you could put magnets on here. For us, this works really well because it was just something that I had on hand. I didn't have to do anything fancy. I laminated these cards, and what we do is we can write the kids' names on them and they put them in the chart, and then one side of the chart says to do and the other side says done. So once they do their job, they slide it over to the done side. There are jobs that I can give to all the kids. Like if I want all the kids to clean the living room together, I will put this there and I can write all on it because it's laminated. I can wipe it off later, and they will all clean the living room together before, it can either be before the end of the day, before they get screen time, before we go to a certain place, before dinner. You can put your own timeline on it, but this works really well for us because the kids have expectations and they know what it is they're going to do. Now, if I want them to do a job that they haven't done before, I know that I'm going to need to train them and teach them how to do that job. Now, I do not believe that kids need to spend their entire day doing chores. I definitely bear the brunt of the homemaking tasks in our home because that's my job. I am the one who's home all day. My husband is working a full-time job out of the house. So a lot of these homemaking tasks fall to me because that's the nature of being at home all day. I also do have, and I have used them some, but I have these my responsibilities charts that my kids I can put their daily tasks and their weekly tasks and they can check it off for the week. This has not been as effective for us. I thought that we would use this a lot. Turns out we don't use this nearly as much as we just use these cards, and it works really well for us. Okay, the next one, I'm going to give a little disclaimer and say that I am not a minimalist at all. If you would ever come to my house or you would see my house on a video, like if you've seen my homeschool room tour video, you would know I'm not a minimalist. I love books. I have a closet full of fabric for my sewing machines. Like I like stuff, but I do know that the more you minimize, the more you get rid of clutter, the more you get rid of things that you aren't using, the less stuff you actually have to manage. So the more things you have, the more you have to take care of it, the more you have to manage it. You have to clean it, you have to move it, you have to find a place for it to be. It's more stuff to get left out on the floor. We don't have a lot of toys in our house. We have a lot of learning materials and books, and we have a lot of games, but we don't actually have a ton of toys, because I find that the more toys kids have, the more likely they are to just throw them all on the floor and not actually play with them. They get overwhelmed. So just getting rid of things has really, really helped me to just stay on top of our home and our homekeeping and just managing the things that are actually in our home. Now, I will say this was much easier when we had a smaller house. Our current house is much larger than our previous homes were. In our previous homes, they were very small. We didn't have a lot of space, so we couldn't have a lot of stuff. When you get into a larger house, sometimes your stuff tends to multiply. It's like, where did all of this stuff come from? So I do have to be a lot more conscious of it in this house, that it just kind of creeps in and you don't notice it as much. In a smaller house, you notice it. There's no way not to notice it. So I find I have to be really diligent on it, or it can get overwhelming. Speaking of eliminating things from my schedule has helped me be a better homekeeper and manage my home so much better. Because if you're not in your home very often, you are not going to have time to spend managing the things in your home, managing, keeping up on your laundry, keeping up on your dishes, keeping up on whatever it is that you need to do to keep your home tidy and organized. And I find that even if you're out of your house doing a lot and maybe not like messing up your house, you still have to do the laundry. You still have to do the dishes. We tend to cook from scratch a lot, or mostly from scratch. So for us, if I were out of the home all the time, it would be really difficult for me personally to keep up on our home. So I try to limit the things that we do during the week. I also find that this just gives us more time for homeschooling, and it gives us more time for our family. So I am really conscious of what I put on our schedule. Now my kids are still in sports, they do youth group, they do all these things outside of the home. However, I just try to keep it minimal. If I know that we're going to be doing something in the evening, we probably won't do something during the day. If I know that we have 2 or 3 days out of the week that already have like a field trip or, a play date or something going on during the day, we won't plan anything else on those other days at all. Because I think there needs to be a good ebb and flow of like a busy day, or like an out of the house day, and a home day, and a slower day. So I like to have like an ebb and flow and a real balance of the days, so that I actually have time to get things done, to tend to my garden, to preserve food, to do whatever it is that I need to do inside my home. Whew, okay, next time I want to film when it is 80 degrees. I don't need to wear jeans. Okay. All right, so the last thing that I want to tell you about is tools. Now, it has helped me so much to have home management tools and organization tools. Now, I've always been a planner girl. I do have a planner on my phone that I use, because when I'm out and about, I really want to be able to check my schedule. If somebody says, hey, can we do this on this day? Or can we make this appointment? If I'm out and my husband texts me, hey, I want to make the kids a dentist appointment, I want to know what's going on without having my paper planner in front of me. So I just use the calendar on my iPhone. I have a little, I think it's called a widget, and it like shows the calendar right on my phone. So I don't even have to open it to see what's happening in the week, the current week. But it's really helpful for me to have an actual physical planner. I've always been a physical planner girl. I like to take notes. So I made my own, because that's what I do. It's in my shop. It's called the Cultivate Your Home Planner. And I have 2 different planners in my shop, and the planner pages are really similar. This, the Cultivate Your Home Planner, has some more home management pages that have been really helpful for me. So there's a few of them that I'm going to walk through that are super helpful. Now, this first one is the Master Meal Plan page. Now, this one has been helpful for me and for my kids, because what I did is I wrote down all of like the things that we normally eat. I'm not the best with meal planning. Like, I don't plan out our whole week of meals. I kind of go by the things that are in our pantry. I do a lot of bulk buying so that I always have things in our pantry that we can essentially just shop from the pantry. I don't do weekly grocery shopping. I do monthly or bi-monthly grocery shopping, and I do a lot of bulk shopping. So I want to have things that are in my home that I can just make our staple meals. So I wrote down like the main dishes that we normally will make during a week or during a month. And I wrote down the typical side dishes. We keep meals pretty simple. I don't really follow a lot of recipes. I like to just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna throw a chicken and a potato and a veggie. And then I'm gonna put something together with those things. But the things that have been really helpful for my kids have been these other sections of this master meal plan. So these are the breakfast, lunch, and snack section. Now, breakfast, we don't really make like a big breakfast. My kids make their own breakfast, but some of these things are easy meal ideas that my kids will make for if they're in charge. Sometimes my older kids are in charge of making a meal. If my husband and I go out on a date, or, I have to run one of the kids somewhere, then some of the kids might be in charge of making a meal. They are really good at making breakfast for dinner. So they might make some gluten-free Dutch babies. I have a recipe for that on my website. They might make pumpkin waffles. They might make smoothies for a snack. They know how to make French toast, even if they want to just make it for themselves. So a lot of these meals over here under the breakfast, lunch, and the snacks are things that they can do themselves. So I just have this listed so that when they come up to me and they're like, what can I eat? I can say, go look at the meal plan page, and they can just go and find something that is kind of like a pre-approved thing. So I know they're not gonna like go searching for a bag of chips. They're going to be, we don't have a lot of things like that in our house, but they're gonna look for something that's good for them, that's gonna fuel their body. So they know that something else that's maybe not on this snack list, like a bag of chips or something, is a treat and not like an everyday snack. So this hangs in our kitchen in our home command center, and this hangs along with our chore chart and just a simple dry erase calendar that I have, and just a blank dry erase board that we use if ever if we're like going somewhere and I want the kids to like, okay, we're going to a track meet. You need to make sure you have your shoes and your water bottle and your jersey and your track bag and a snack. I'm gonna write all those things down so they can go look and check off what they have, so that I know that they have everything that they need. That's what we use the dry erase board for most of the time in our home command center. And I wrote a whole blog post about my home command center if you want to like see all the details about that. But this hangs there. So we've got the master meal plan there. I have this household restock page, which is really great for like if the kids are like, oh mom, we're out of something, I don't know, cereal, or we're out of oatmeal, or we're whatever it is. Now I tend to buy a lot of things in bulk, so sometimes they'll say, oh, we're out of this. I'm like, oh no, we're not. Go down in the basement and get it from the basement grocery pantry. But if they think they're out of toothpaste, they're out of vitamins, they can write it down here so I can keep track of it. The next time I buy those things, or go to the store or do an order, I can just check this list, and anything that they have put on there, I know that we're out of also. I also have this master cleaning list that I can use, but also my kids can use. So it goes through like the living room, what are the things they need to do when they clean the living room? What are the things that make up cleaning the living room? Because if you just tell a kid, go clean the living room, they're gonna be like, well, what do I do? So unless you've actually taught them what to do, or you give them a list, they might get a little overwhelmed by that big task. So the same goes with like cleaning a bathroom. Okay, wipe the sink and the counter, clean the toilet, wipe the shower and the tub, sweep and mop the floor. Then they can divvy up the tasks too. So usually when my kids clean a bathroom, they clean it with a brother. So there's two of them that clean together, and they can split up the tasks so that not one person has to do all of them, but they can kind of split them evenly. So this is a great system for them. But it also helps me. So if I'm like preparing for something, like we're having guests, I can check off the things that I've done. Or if I'm just having a big cleaning day or something, I know these are the things that I've done already. Here's what I have left to do. So I don't do that swirling around, going from project to project, kind of chicken with my head cut off, that kind of thing. So this I keep in our kitchen on our command center, just on a little hook on the wall. I also have found that there is a book called Large Family Logistics. It may be out of print, but you're usually able to find it used. I was able to find it used. I found this giant version. I'm not sure if it only comes in this version or if it also comes in a smaller paperback, but this is what I found used when I got it. And it just has really helpful hints and tips and tricks if you have a larger family, especially. I think it can be very helpful for anybody who wants to know more about home management, but I found it really helpful having a lot of kids. I think when you have a lot of people, there can be some tricky things to figure out of like, how do I create systems that work for us? Because sometimes the things that are out there are for a family of 4 or even a family of 5, and you get a family of 7 like mine, that's a different story than a family of 4. There's just a lot more moving parts, a lot more people, a lot more things to manage every day. I also wrote an ebook called How to Do It All. Now, spoiler alert, no one can do it all, but these are kind of my secrets and my tips for managing home and homeschool and motherhood, because when you are a homeschooling mom, I think it adds another layer to home management, because not only are you managing your home, but you don't have an entire day when your kids are off at school to do it. So you have to figure out how you can manage 3 meals a day and get in all the homeschool lessons, and maybe you're even working from home a little bit like I am. Maybe you have other things that you have to factor in. Maybe you have ministry opportunities, or you work for your church, or you're very involved in your church, or whatever it is, but you are managing things in a different way than someone whose kids go off to school, because you don't send them away for the entire day. They're still at home and still making messes and still eating meals all day long. So if you are a homeschool mom, or if you have little kids who are still at home, this might be a helpful resource for you. So I'm going to put links for all of these things down in the description so that you can check them out and find the resources that work best for you. So if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon in another video. In the meantime, keep cultivating your home. Bye, friends.